Hello. Sorry I'm a little bit late there. I have had a lovely class this morning. I've been out most of the day and I've only just unloaded the car. So I've just been trying to find something for me to share with you this evening. I had a plan to do something from the annual catalogue, but I can't show you the insides as we've said before. Hello. Smudges with me. So I can't show you the inside. So while you've got me on the screen in front of you, I'm just going to flick through here. I have an idea that I will be doing, but I couldn't find, we had the watercolour pencils out with me today and I couldn't find them. Just looked through all the bags and boxes that are just beside me here. Couldn't find them anywhere. Right at the bottom, weren't they? So I am going to do some watercolouring today, but I can't find anything in here that I was going to case, so I'll be casing from the online exclusives. So I'm going to get you down onto the table. So let's just get you back to the comments up. See here, see who's going to join us. We'll be a little bit later. So let me get this one down, pop that in the corner, and here we go. So there we go. The mixed florals it's online. It's an online product. Hi Linda. Lovely to see you today. Oops, a daisy, that's just shining, creeping in there. My finger stopped scrolling and it didn't. So let's just move that slightly. So there you go, a little bit straighter. So the mixed florals was something I shared the other day with regards to the Memories and More cards. So this is a mixed media florals which goes with this set here. And it's got loads of different colours in it, but it's Memory and More cards. Now Jackie and I have got an event coming up on the 6th of June and it's going to be a product based one, and I'm just going to show you some of the cards that are in here. I think this was half a pack, but I've got a feeling I might have mutilated. Yes, this is one I've cut into. So these are the Memories and More cards where they're printed on both sides. You actually get 50 pieces in here, plus you get 2 of the sticker sheets. And I think I showed these the other day. These are the sticker sheets. Now these are onto board, so like they're quite thick and they're adhesive on the backs. If you don't want them adhesive, you want to raise them up on 3D pads, you can just put the dust buddy over the back to get rid of the tackiness, and then you can use those. Jackie and I have already started playing with these for the event Crafting Tea in Dis on the 6th of June. So you're going to each be having half a pack of these and a whole pack of 20 note cards and envelopes and other bits and pieces. There's some gems, some twine, things like that. So we're going to be showing all sorts of designs with these. Some we will teach out, and the rest of the pack you've got there to make up to 20 note cards and envelopes. So they're going to be really nice. We love these, and I'm just going to go through just a few of them on here. I know I showed you the fronts and backs of several of them the other day, and you can literally, this is a good inspiration for the stamp set here, so I'll leave that one out. This is one that's already been mutilated, and so, as is that, so we've been working with them. So this is actually my half here. I was just going to try and find you one of the big flowers, just so you can just use the colourings really for inspiration. There we go, that's another one similar. That will be sufficient. I know I've used some of the others. We don't want to show all the secrets away, but that is one of the pieces on there that that you will have in your kit. So again, it's got a little bit jump. I think this was my part kit that I used initially before we started working on the class. I'm going to put all of those out of the way. These are just some that are showing you ideas for using, like this one here. So we used this one today. They were doing the tissue paper technique as one of the classes. You're looking forward to it, Marilyn. Excellent. It's really good. Hi, Angela. Hi, Linda. Hi, other Angela. There we go. So these ones here are just some of the colours that you can get for inspiration, but the stamp set goes with it as well. Now, like I said, these are slightly reduced, not loads, but they are slightly reduced. So I'm just going to pop those out of the way and leave those over the back there just for colours really. And I've got the watercolour pencils. So today they used this stamp and they did the tissue paper. So they were using the blends to get the watercolour pencils onto the tissue paper, screwing it all up and then making a card with it. So as I have everything to hand, I know I've done the technique before, but I'm thinking I might use this onto cardstock. So let's just grab some card. It does fit nicely onto a note card. So I'm just going to use a panel that I've got here. and do some colouring with it. So we have this, we have, somewhere we had a block. Now where might the block have ended up? Oh dear. Could be anywhere. It's got the stamp attached to it, because I can't remember cleaning it. Will be thrown in somewhere. Maybe we won't use that one. I'm not going to keep you any longer. I'm going to grab another block and I'm going to use the other image, because this image is clearly around somewhere. When we packed up, we literally popped everything away quickly. So I'm going to take these stamps off this block that's off camera, and then I'm going to use this one. By using the watercolour pencils, the inks will flow nicely. You can see it's a new set, and I haven't actually used this one, but I do think this is gorgeous. No, maybe we'll use the Stamparatus plate, which I have to hand here, which is very handy. Take that one off. There we go. We'll bring this back over. Stampin' Up! do the bigger block, so the biggest one I tend to use and have out to use is this one here. I think this is the E block. Yeah, it's the E. We do the bigger one than that, but it's just saved me running around for it today. Okay, so I'm going to put that back on there, and I'm going to put this in on the piece of card. We can trim this down later. There are dies with it, so these, as far as I know, these were still available with the stamps and the dies. They're just really nice pieces. This is some greenery. This is the only one that can be used on its own. The others are all die cutting shapes from the catalogue images, so the stamped images, sorry. So we can die cut that in a sec. So get that out of the way. That's just so that you could really see the image on there. It is much larger than it's stamped on the case. It does say on the Stampin' Up! Cases, it does say on here at what percentage they're shrunk by. So you always have that information there to hand. So I'm going to place that one in the middle and get my magnet out. I'm going to have one down the bottom and one at the top there. I'm going to pick that one up. I will grab my little hockey puck. She says. I have seen it. It's on the table. We'll go with that today. It's going to be one of those proper Wing It Wednesday, isn't it, really? So pick that up on there nicely. Because it's a new stamp, it does tend to get a bit clingy. It doesn't want to, it's a bit sticky there. So I will just bear that in mind. And I'm going to ink this up with my Memento. We did use Stays On. And the Memento. If you're careful, Memento is fine. It's really designed for use with the Stampin' Blends, the alcohol pens. But when I do watercolouring with it, I tend to make sure that I try not to go near the lines. So as long as you don't saturate the black, it doesn't run very much at all. It's just one to be careful of, just to be aware of, really. So there's our lovely image. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. And this time of year, it's just a daffodil. The tulips are nearly over, but hey. So just a quick watercolour for you to this evening. We do have 2 packs of the pencils that match our colours in there. The new catalogue, I haven't gone into whether they're there, but they probably will have a reformulated combination with the new colours in there as well. So we do need a piece of kitchen roll to hand to wipe the brush on. So I tend to like to fold a sheet of this in half. So it's nice and neat on the side there. If I'm out and about, I use the pocket tissues that we all carry in our handbags. So I'm going to use the Wink of Stella here. I have zoomed in fairly close to you. So I'm going to use the Wink of Stella. I just put that as a date when I actually started the new one. But I'm just going to check. It's going to be, I think that one's running out of water a little bit. Let's see if I've got another one handy. And I've got some more in here somewhere. Smudge is making an awful lot of noise out there. Daddy's gone to bed, so she's not got anyone for attention. So, yeah, that one's full of air as well. Okay, we can sort this. The beauty of having a craft urn, a tea urn in the craft studio is it's always got some water in there. So I've just got a little bit of water out, and this is a good opportunity to show you how we fill these up. So when you use up your Wink of Stella, some of you will have heard this over and over, but when you use it up, never throw it away. You're going to squeeze where it says push and push, opposite sides, and we're literally going to soak up. I normally squeeze it in and then suck some water up into it, and then do the same again. Squeeze it in and suck some water up into it. You can't see through the barrel, so you can't see when it's got sufficient in there. And then I'm going to replace the lid and then snap that on. Just dry that and then shake it up. You're going to shake. Gillian, don't worry, you're not late. I was late as well. We're going to just shake this so that we can wash some of that water, some of the pigment that's stuck around the outside. If you leave your lid on, you're going to be shaking that glitter everywhere. So that's a safeguard. You please put that on the top. And then hopefully we can just squeeze some of that through. I can see that coming through in the barrel here in that clear one, the clear area there. So we're ready to paint. So I'm going to take some of these colours. I have got purples in my bag behind me. I've got some pretty peacock. So we could use the blues, and we've got the purples in here. Now my purple went missing, so I had to acquire one from other means. And we might use some different shades of those. And the greens, I've got Mossy Meadow and Easy to Hand. That's Old Olive. That's Mossy Meadow, I believe. So we'll use those ones. Okay, so I'm going to start with, that is very blue actually. Which one's that? Pacific Point? Yeah, that's too blue. So, oh, I've got a freezer in there. Let's go for, I'm going to go for the pinkies, I think. This one here. That's a pinkier one. Okay, so these, you can tell that the watercolour pencil, this one is quite blunt on the end there. We don't need to have a sharp point. We need to be able to see the colour. So we need to have a little bit of colour on there like so. Don't just keep shaving and shaving and shaving and wasting them. As I pointed out today, most of my pencils in here have still got a lot of longevity in them, except for this poor little yellow one. Can you see this little one down here? He's so small. I use this in a class, and I wasn't watching, and it was, they had the pencil sharpener was in the box. I don't do that now. So it was literally sharp, 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 and everybody just kept getting it to a sharp point. You really don't need it. So I'm going to take some of the colour off here. Now we're just taking that a little bit onto the brush, and you'll see, if I bring that up to the camera, you can see that on the Wink of Stella, on the end of the pen, the watercolour here, that we've got the colour into the brush there. So we're just literally just going to paint down there like so. Okay, and we can literally just bleed that out, and we've got automatically got two-tone. We take the colour off the end of the pencil, and we can add depth of colour in there. Okay, I'm doing this without my glasses today. They are probably the other side of the table. When your card, I'm using Whisper White here. As long as you don't saturate your card, it works quite well. If you want to use the watercolour paper, obviously you do get a better saturation of the water on there, but you don't need a lot of water. All you're doing is taking it dry off the pencil. Okay, so we're just going to add that down there. I tend to colour in each area on its own, and then you can take some more darker shades and you can add it where you need depth of colour. Okay, so hopefully you can see that coming through. So give it some shadow. Okay, and just a little bit more just on this side. Just coming down there like so. And it is watercoloured, so you are painting this in. I'm just trying not to go over the lines, and then I'm trying not to I don't just colour in the whole image, because then you will smudge that black. So tap it on the end there. Got a wet paintbrush nib. So I'm holding the pencil here in my hand. It's quite a fast process as well. You're literally I'm leaving a little bit of daylight there, so you can just see the edges. It's quick because you don't have to keep taking your hand away from the colour to replenish. And I love watercolouring. It's so rewarding, it's so relaxing. The ladies in the class today were very quiet. I know some of them watch me on here. Concentrating on their colouring. Fussy cutting, watercolouring are two of the things that you do get. Classes go really quiet because they're concentrating so much. Okay. So just adding some depth of colour just where the light might be coming through. Just on there like so. And I like that there's those little daylight pieces in there. So I'm painting these ones in the solid colour. You can see because it's got the water in it, it's just so fluid, they float really nicely. Now you've probably heard me say in the past, I stamp images like this one on here. I stamp those up. I probably would do it onto watercolour card paper. And I take these on holiday, put a lot of stamped images like so, and pop them into a cello bag or one of the pouches that we keep our dies in. These are how the dies come. I use them for a variety of reasons, and I just pop some in there. And then you've got a packet of your pencils just in an empty case here or some sort of a container, and your water brush. That's all you need. And to be honest, there's water everywhere, so you can always get some water to fill your pen up, even on a plane. Once you're through customs, you can fill up the other side. I'm just going to squeeze that out just to wash that pink off. I'll take the Mossy Meadow for the leaves, and then I'll come back and choose what colour I'm going to do up here on the smaller flowers. Now, you won't be able to see it online because on the camera because it's very, very fine. There is a shimmer to this water that's coming out. Okay, so just going to bring that down there. So, not long to go till the new catalogue is live. If you haven't got your catalogue and you would like one, I know I'm still got customers I'm seeing on Friday, and we'll be handing out more. But if you want a catalogue and you don't have one, please just let me know, and I will get one in the post to you. Something very therapeutic about this. It's just peaceful. It's the sort of thing that I do on board the cruise ship, although we haven't been on a cruise lately, and on the plane, on long haul flights. Have your stamped images and your colours, and as I've said before, these pencils will last you a lifetime if you don't go crazy with your sharpener. Just colour these in. You can always go back on. If you just put that pale colour on to start with, you can always go back and add more. And if you make a mistake and you go over the edge, all you need to do is to clean your brush on your kit paper towel, and then with the water brush, just go over the area you've gone outside and just dab it just to blot it really. And that does go, just do a few times. Obviously the stronger colours are harder to remove, but it's definitely worth trying. Certainly lightens it. Bit stronger up there. See how quickly it's coming together. And there is a slight sparkle on here as well. So I need to make that the stems on here a little bit darker, so I might do those neat from the pencil. Just going to do these leafy ones, the big ones. So have you all been outside enjoying the lovely sunshine? Here in the UK, we're having some lovely weather at the moment. So I've made the most of it. When I got back today, I had another session in the garden. I'm attacking brambles at the moment, but I'm having to do it in small batches because of my back and my hip. But it's desperately overdue and it needs doing. I've done six barrow loads in the last few days. So don't want to overdo it and suffer. So where are we going? Up this one here. Nearly there, look, with the bigger areas. How's that looking on the camera? We've got the stem coming down there. I'm trying to think what that line is. This is the main stem. So these main stems in here, so this tulip, and that tulip, I'm going to use the pencil directly on. Because I've got the nib is already wet anyway, it's very soft. So, but I'm going to go on here directly, and that might give it a little bit more concentrated colour. So it'll bring that out darker. Just colouring that a bit heavier. I don't normally use the pencils wet onto the paper, but I wanted to have this a little bit darker on there. Okay, so just going to colour that one in there to the side because that's part of this stem. So this, now I'm just going to come back with a wet brush and just combine all those areas in there, and then that one up there, and this one around here. Okay, so it just brings those out a little bit more. I'm going to clean the brush here, and I'm just going to, so it's wet, I'm just going to bring away some of that. The stem in here, this colour, this one here, has gone a little bit darker, so I'm just going to wet that again and find a clean piece of blotting paper, paper towel, and just blotting it. Like I said about removing the edges, it's just made that one a little bit lighter in real life. So now I just need another colour for these little ones up here. So I'm going to go for pinkier. What's we've got here? Flirty Flamingo. Let's just try that colour. It's a bit of a bright pink. I think I'll go for Melon Mambo. It's a bright. It is still a bright, but it's a different shade. There you go. It's a bright pink. The other's more of a purpley pink. Delicate and pretty. Oh, bless you. It's definitely a good technique. I love it. And as I say, it's a good one for taking away with you. You just need so little to have a lovely crafting kit with you, and enough to take for a fortnight's holiday as well. It doesn't take up a lot of space. That and fussy cutting's a good one for me. I have a little bag of the designer series papers that need fussy cutting, and I take my paper snips, a Stampin' Up paper snips, and a little nappy sack, just because I'm good with my rubbish and keep all those little tiny fragments of paper that I'm taking off it keeps them together nicely. So just wipe that on the kitchen paper there, paper towel, and put the lid back on. That's ready to go next time. And there's my finished image all coloured in. Okay, so it's a little bit warped again at the moment. It has got a bit of glimmer on there. You probably won't see it on camera, but there's definitely some colour to it. But I really like that image. So I'm going to pop those back in there. Lift that over the back. Don't need that. Don't need that. So the question is, am I going to put this on whole, or am I going to put it on, die cut it out first? So there's my little, it won't go through the little machine, the big one, which is there. And my cutting plates. And I have in here my note cards. I'm not sure that's going to fit onto a note card, so we might be doing a base card here. We're not going to get a lot of space on there now. I'll do it onto a full-size card. So, there we go. This is thick white. And I've got a couple of trimmers beside me. And we're going to score down the centre, so my little red dots on here at 10.5. And then I'm going to put some colour as a layer in here. Okay, that can go back into another project. This one can score inwards. I feel like a bag lady. I've got all my my kit from classes in the bags on the floor beside me in my trolley. Quite funny. So that's in there. My trusted tweezers, of course, I need those. So we're going to die cut this one out, I believe. I think I'm going to do that. So I've got my big shot here. We've got the dies that go with that set. I'm just going to bring the camera out a little bit because you're going to be a little bit too close now. There we go. Take the paper out of the way. I've got on here, I've got a Magic Mat because this is one that I had for off another machine, an old machine. So I'm just using that one because it's here. And there's my top plate. So I've got my image I'm going to die cut. The stamp set with the dies in. I cut that large image. Let's take that one up there. Just want to make sure that's not going to move. All that work, this is where you do need to take attention to making sure it's not going to move. And that's lined up perfectly. And I'm just going to place this on top. Lovely. Okay. And there we go. Look at that. Just going to lift that off the mat. Look at that, isn't that lovely? It's lovely, lovely die, cuts the whole image out. And there we have the negative. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could raise that up in the middle and put a different shade behind it. There's all sorts of possibilities. So what I'd like to do with this one, I don't want to just do it as a plain card. I'm going to put some layers on it, but I'm going to score this one down the centre and do a little bit of a simple fold. So I'm going to just fold that back at half of this one. This is 5 1/4. So it's kind of like 5.2 and a bit. So in the middle there. To score that down there. This type of fold, you can actually score it or cut it, and you're then just folding that back. So it's like an open card and it's going on here. If you cut this off, you could then actually have a panel and having it overhanging. So it's exactly the same process, just same but different. Fold out again, just come down there like so. So it's just that little bit of a fold. Okay, and another panel for the front. So we're gonna, easy way to work out what size panel, you're just going to measure this to see what sort of size panel you'd like behind that. You can just stick it like that, but then obviously you've got the back of this sticking out, so it's not nice to have that. So it's on a nice little square panel that will fit that. So on the corner of my mat over here, I'm just going to go into the corner and work out what size I need panel to be. So it needs to be about 12 centimetres by, where are we, on the 70, 12 by 8.5, I should think. So let's get a piece of that one. So take this one, trimmer. You got, oh hi Anne, I didn't see you come in. There you go, hi Shaz and Gillian, lots there. So 8.5 I think I said. Cut that one off, and by 12. And that's there. So let's do those. This one's going to come on there. It doesn't matter actually if you have some of these images actually coming off there, so like the tips of those could be coming off, but then I'm going to have that as a layer and it's going to come on there like a bit of a Z fold. okay, but we're going to put some matte layers behind it. So we'll use those little slips we've cut off there. They can come in handy for a greeting. So let's go with some colours. I think these are going to match. This isn't fresh freesia, but it's going to go nicely with fresh freesia. So that's the colour I'm using today. Or just check these two. We had these ones out as well. Oh, that might be nice. Which is going to look the best? That's quite light. That does go nicely. Tell me which one you think is going to be better. I've got the names here, if that helps. Gorgeous grape. I think this is going to be better on that one. So I can use a fresh freezer. So we are going to do a bit of texturising. We're going to put a layer behind this one. So we have a quarter panel there. So we want that to be a little bit bolder than that. Just bear with me a sec. Just try something. Now I'm going to bring this one out because I think this one's going to match even better. Or if I've just place this. No, maybe not. No, that's not the right shade at all. The Moody Mauve that I was just showing you is actually one of the colours that's retiring, and they will retire with the end of the old catalogue. So they will retire from the 5th, which is Tuesday. Shaz likes Gorgeous Grape. Except that one. I like the Gorgeous Grape to go on there, and then the panel, like so. Do I have those in there? Oh, we've got a fresh freesia and a grape. Okay, so which is going to look nicer? That one? It's more of the purple, isn't it? You know how I like to offer these up and to see how they're going to look. I do think the fresh freesia is delicate, but it's quite pale, isn't it? What shall we do? You know what I might do? I'm just going to do the same fold with the fresh freesia. Because I think as a base card that might look okay actually. So we just chop that one off and do 10.5. That's in half, and then do the quarter, and then have a mossy meadow to back that layer. I think that might work nicely. Just to bring another colour in, and we're folding this into our fold onto our ridge and then back on itself. Oh, and I see we're trying again. So we're going to do that one, and then we could have how about we just do a little accent behind it like so. How's that? We do a bit of both then. Everybody's happy. I like that. Does that look good? You don't mind. I think bringing the two colours in like that instead of the green looks nice actually. So we had 8.5 by 12. So we want that to be just a few mils bigger than that. So 12, so we'll go 12.3. 3 mils is just the right amount to do matte layers with bigger. So 8.5, we want to go 8.8. Because it's quite a big image, I didn't want to go silly big. Okay, like so. That would just give us a few mils either side of that, coming around the edge. Might be too little actually. Just gives us that accent, doesn't it? Yeah, I think I like that. That blade is just getting a little bit iffy. It's coming up to change, I should think. So I'm just going to take that and there's just an old nail block here, just to go down that couple of edges there. There we go. So those are going together. I am going to texturise this one because before I put this shaped image on there, that's going to be 3D, and I want some texture on here. So we're going to grab that embossing plate, and I have some folders in here. My exposed brick is my biggest go-to of choice. So I'm going to pop that in there. Grab my machine back. Take all of the plates off. Pop the embossing folder in and just the grey one on top. Bright accent pale base, there we go. See, offering up your colours like that can just change, and you don't have to cut the card first. You're just offering like I did. I had a whole sheet there, but it just offered it up just to see how it's going to look. So I have a dish full of tombos here. I don't know which is a good one. We'll see how they go. I'm not doing anything else in here today. I'm not unpacking. I'll be in here tomorrow morning. This one. There is Tombow in there. Oh, there it goes. We just had the lid left off it a little while. Put that one there. It is just a tiny little border. It's not very wide. Just enough to give it that hint. And bring another colour into the equation. Like so. Do have to just watch that. I think I was a bit heavy there because I couldn't see where that was starting. Make sure that's not seeping out the edges. Okay, and then we're going to get rid of that one. We're going to have this as our card in the middle there. Now, how I like to mark these, I turn this over and I place it in the middle of my card. Okay, where I want to have the panel on here. Okay, then we need a pencil. And I'm going to mark here where just inside I don't want the glue to go over the top of it. So I'm going to place there and I'm going to go there. Okay, so I'm going to put a cross on here. This is the side I want to put my adhesive. Okay, and when I turn it over, that's where I'm going to be gluing. Okay, so you know when you're putting the Tombow on where you're going to stop and start. So I'm going to go all around the edge of this piece. Okay, we're stopping at the pencil mark. The pencil mark is inside. Okay, so we're going to place this on there. Now, if you want to, you can, I'm just thinking how I did this, you can actually put that on like this. You see your pencil mark there. You go top to bottom evenly and just slightly over, and you're going to place that down, and then that should be just with a bit of wriggle room now. Just move that slightly over. We're not going outside, so we're going into it now. So we will only have the adhesive. We won't have anything on the inside there. Okay, so that keeps it all nice and neat and tidy on the inside. Okay, so then this one we're going to raise on foam pads. Get that out of the way. Tweezers, dimensionals. Some thick ones here, and I've got some little diddy ones somewhere. A packet here of my bits and edges. Bits and edges are good because you end up with all these tiny little pieces, but they're handy for infilling. So I put some big pieces around where I can. Taking these off as I go because it saves time. You're just handling them once. I've taken that one off already. Not there. Not too bad, this one. Put them in the dish. A couple in the middle. I don't like when you've got a big images like this, you need to have enough that it's not going to sag. Some people are a little bit mean, but I think that's probably going to be enough there. It's just curling slightly. That's not a problem because we curl that one back. I'm just going to, oh, that is lovely and glittery when you look close to it. So I want that to be fairly central, and I want it to be upright as I would like it to be. Just gently lift that. There we go, and that's all nicely raised on there. Okay, so there's my card. I'll just come in a little bit. There we go, just a little bit more. There we go. So there's the finished card. We can put another liner in here, and what I like to do is to replicate this exactly the same. So we're going to do 8.5, so 8.8 and 12.3, 12.3, 8.8, and then the white layer as well. I've put my white down, yep. So this would be 8.5 by 12. Now we've textured this, the whole panel, because it's going on the front. You're going to write on this one, but what you can do, if you like, is to texturize part of it. So I'm going to show you that because it's a little bit different. I'm just going to get rid of those. Bring that back again. So you want to leave your panel so that you can write on the biggest part of it. But if I texturize this panel down the left-hand side here, I'm just putting it in part of it, like so. This is one of the exceptions where normally we put the fold in first, but sideways is okay as long as you know to be careful and you know what we know we're doing it. We're just making sure it's not going the wrong way. Okay. This will then leave you a nice little panel down there. I don't know if you can see that, can you? Can you see that on the camera? You kind of got a little bit of a ridge because you can see where this piece is textured and this piece isn't. Okay, just gives you that added little bit of detail. If you like, you could put a little tiny slither of coloured cardstock down there, just to separate the two areas. No real need, but it's just an idea. And that up into the centre. Just check those borders are all nice and even. Now, to put this behind here, I like to line it up behind the panel I've got in the front. Okay, I'm going to literally place that on there. Okay, that is identical for that panel. So I'm going to place it on the back here. I'm going to place Tombow around the whole panel here. So this is double layer under my hand here, my fingers. So I'm just going to do a little bit in the middle. And then this is identical layers to what the front one is here. And now I'm just going to simply shut it. Oh, I've got glue on there. On my finger. Okay, just wipe that. Now, when you then turn your card over and you open it, this is exactly the same height as this one. Again, you've got a little bit of wiggle room if it's not quite straight. I think that's fairly okay. Okay, I didn't sand that edge there with that little raw edge. Need to put another cutting blade in there. So there's my layer on the front and there's my layer on the inside, and this is where you write. Okay, so that's just made that a little bit different. And of course it wouldn't be right without any gems on it. And we did have some beautiful gems. We've got these lovely, the purple shimmer gems. I've got a feeling that they're carried over in the new catalogue. I can look those up for you. I know we've been using them today, off camera so that you don't see. Yes, purple fine shimmer gems. They are in the new catalogue, so they have carried over, so that's really good. So somewhere we just want to dot a few of these. I think I like my little 3 down here. I'm just wondering if is that a 3 girl today? I think it is, because it's that nice light lilac. So I'm going to put the little one there, a bigger one, a darker one in the middle. So that brings through the bottom layer, and then another little pale one underneath it. There we go. How does that look? Okay, so we want a little greeting on there, don't we? A greeting and near and handy. What have we got? So, what did Sandra take today? The stamp set we used hasn't actually got any sentiments in it whatsoever. So that's not a good one to choose, I don't believe. No, it's just all pictorial. There's some lovely little ladybirds in here though. Cute, cute, cute. Cute overload. So, got anything near to hand? Maybe, you know what I could do? I could take one of these out of the Memories and More pack, couldn't I? Because these are still available at the moment. So remember I said at the back here we have these two panels of the layers. We've got some a happy birthday on there. We've got just a note to let you know that I'm thinking of you. You've got heartfelt thanks. I think I know who this is going to go to, and I think this one is going to be suitable here. Heartfelt thanks. That's going to sit on there. Now, what I did the other day was, if I place this on, if we just bring this darker colour through, if I place that onto a piece of the cardstock, I'm going to grab those. I do need my glasses. I'll just grab those. Can't attempt a fussy cut without glasses. So what we're going to do is, because we use the gorgeous grape around the outside here, we're just adding that extra, bring it back in onto the front of the card. So I'm just going to take that off, and I'm just going to fussy cut round here. So just for benefit of fussy cutting, just to show you again how I do it, I'm bringing that onto the screen. I appreciate it is more difficult for left-handers to just do a mirror image of what I'm doing, but I'm just going all the way around the outside of that. There is no die for this shape. It's one of the sticker sheets. So I'm just following that line and coming around the edge, and just leaving a tiny little border. So we've got a tiny little border of the gorgeous grape. I'm letting the scissors do the work, and I'm just swiveling it with my left hand. So around there, down there. You wouldn't put a sentiment on. You just do a handwritten note inside. I do need a thank you card, and this is, yeah, it needs to go to somebody in the post. And I think that this would be good. I have been making lots, especially with the Memories and More cards, I've been making them up and leaving them completely blank like this, just on its own, and then leaving it so that you add a sentiment when you actually want to send the card. So I'm aiming on having lots of cards made up, but that could be used for any occasion, and then whenever you need to send a card, you've got some lovely base cards made, simply need a sentiment of your choice at the time for the occasion you need it. That's what I'm on a mission to kind of use some of my retired stuff up with that as well. So I just have a box of one of my tubs on the unit at the front there for sale. I'll just have a tub that is no sentiment. And they're going to be really handy to have when I need in a hurry. Okay, so I'm just finishing off around that side there. This is a black type set, so it's black. Ooh. Oh dear. I must have gone over the 10 o'clock. There we go. It's just reminding me to take my tablets. I used to have it earlier, and then that was inconvenient, so I put it on for a later time. And now it clashes sometimes. So that's just going to sit on there, and it's just got that tiny little greeting around it. If I bring it up to the camera, it's just got that tiny definition coming around with the extra colour. Oh, Debbie, that's really good. The Memories and More. Linda, we're using those at the Disc Golf Club. Now, I can't remember. There was one you couldn't come to. Oh, bless you, Shaz. Thank you. The Memories and More pack, yeah, they absolutely great. If you can't come to the golf club at Dis, then just let me know, and I can get you a kit still to have, Linda. So that's for anybody else. If anybody else can't make, we obviously want people in person. It's an afternoon tea. You can't pack up an afternoon tea in a postal kit. But if you can't make it and you'd like to have a kit, then just let me know and we can sort something out. Or you're further afield, of course. If you're further afield and you can't get down here, then that would be, you'd have pictures of all the cards that we make, and you know what we've actually done, and then you can use your inspiration yourself to use them or adapt them. Just go with the flow for ease. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. Okay, I could do with another little tiny piece on there. Now I know in my itty bits here I have got some pieces. What do I have? I had some little bits in here somewhere. These ones here, look, there's one there. That's a little tiny strip. I'm just going to take that backing sheet off, and then I'm going to hold it in my tweezers, and I'm going to place that underneath. I didn't know whether I need it on there or not, but I do. So I'm just going to slide it under there, push it down, and that you wouldn't know it wasn't done in the first instance. So there we go. I think we're finished. Hannah, hi Anne. Nice to hear from New Zealand down there. Yeah, enjoy those, Debbie. They're going to be really nice. They're such a nice set to have. We'll be sharing some images as well later, I'm sure. So that's the finished card. I do love the watercolouring. It's absolutely gorgeous. If you wanted to, you just wanted other enhancement, you could get some of your re-inker or your gorgeous grape ink, and on this white layer, I wouldn't necessarily do the whole thing. On your white layer, before you stick it down, you could just get a wet solution of the ink and just do some splatters on there and just get some little tiny drops on there. Okay, that's the backing of that dimensional, but it's got some glitter in there anyway, so it's got some nice detail. So I think I've kept you long enough today, so I'm pleased that you've enjoyed that. I'll bring you back to me, whoopsie-daisy, there we go, and say thank you very much. Yeah, so yeah, I know you're working, Linda, aren't you, so you can't make it. Hi, the other Angela, you have that stamp set, there we go, something to play with. The other one, the daisy one, this one here they used today, it's on a block and it's been thrown in one of my caddies somewhere. So I will unpack tomorrow, but certainly not today. It's been a long day. Okay, so thanks ever so much for joining me. I'm glad you enjoyed the card. Just a little bit different, something new to see. And I will be back with you on Sunday. What is Sunday date? When does the first? The first is tomorrow, is Thursday. So 1, 2, 3, 4th. I think I'm around Sunday. I don't think there's anything getting in the way. Okay, so I'll be back then. And as always, if you want something brought in and you'd like to see a technique or something done, just drop me a line, let me know.